my colleague Vic Pacquiao and Dr. Orbeta, when their paper was put in a seminar at the AIM. And I did make a very strong endorsement about the quality of the findings that were made then. And I reiterate that now, that they have done a good job in making a study of the issues of labor, employment, and the problems that we have regarding the solution to the structural or policy problems tied up with wages and so on. I've been talking about the minimum wage as a policy issue for many years. In part, not because I do not like minimum wages. In fact, I feel that to some extent we need them. But it's not required that we really raise them to a level in which they become an hindrance to employment. The main problem about minimum wage in this country is that we think that it is essential to raise everybody's wages. But the minimum wage as an institution was devised mainly as an entry wage for workers so that they can be protected from unwise low-level employment, low-wage employment, given the qualifications they have. But it's not necessary to define a living wage for the worker, because the living wage for the worker, which is the basis of the calculations that people who work on the minimum wage adjustment process undertake, is often biased in favor of determining what the worker needs to sustain his family. It's not the responsibility of a job to provide for the family. The responsibility of a job is to provide an income to the worker who contributes to the effort, to the production effort. Families are oftentimes a combination of different members. And so they work together, and family income is the important thing. I have highlighted some of the problems we have by reference to the examples that I have seen in other countries. That's one of the points that I made. In fact, I did make the point in some of the interventions I have made on this issue. You know, I write a column in the Philippine Star, and that gives me a forum or a place where I can sort of think about issues and then write them down and let others think about them later. I have noted, for instance, that all of us, when we go to stores, look for, when we go to all the stores that, when we try to buy our common goods that we wear, the garments that we buy, we discover that most of the goods that we encounter in the stores are made in our neighboring countries, but not here. For instance, the Nike shoes. We buy Nike shoes. We discover that they're made mainly in Indonesia, China, now Vietnam even, but never in the Philippines. The income of the factory worker working in a Nike factory is not a trivial income. They work hard, I mean the workers work hard. They earn an income which is equivalent to what might be called survival or even beyond survival incomes. But when two members of the family work together, they provide a very large income for the family. And that's why many regional areas where Nike placed its factories in Indonesia have become very prosperous rural areas in Indonesia. They're not called Nike factories, they are called shoe factories, because subcontracting is the name of the game in most of these. But think about that. Here, the shoe factories have left us. Our Marikina factories are not producing the kind of shoes for the world. It's only producing shoes for some of us. Even the shoe factories that are done by Filipinos, they're made in some other places. They subcontract them and sell them to us. Why can't we do this? The problem is just rearranging part of the wage story here. Anyway, this is one of the points I made. I can talk a lot more about all these things, but